Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Drop Frames. Going to the second half here of episode 159. Let's talk about the new. Can we have Zeke and Co dance like that from now on? That was a great way to come back into the second half, bro. Man, you're just knocking it out of the park. Thank you. That's
I am the best guest, though.
your contracts will be updated, Zeke and Co, and that will to show the reflect. Yeah. Let's talk about the new Twitch update real quick. Did you guys see this? The new look of it. Where you like it, bro, man?
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Well, make sure to go tweet at Bro Man that he's a terrible person at twitter.com/. I think you're one of the first people to ever say that, Bro Man.
I see everybody trash on social media. But like I get that there's less overall real estate for the actual stream, and like being able to collapse out both sides is definitely something that should be doable.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not worth lighting it on fire, throwing it in the ocean with, concrete shoes on, like I've been seeing on Twitter. I think that what I like about it is the follow buttons obviously displayed.
Sure.
The alert button, the alert me when I'm streaming button is right there. Not on this screenshot, but if you go to some, if it'll say follow and then turn on alerts.
Okay, hold on. Let me. Who do I not? Let's go to twitch.tv/Ezekiel and check it out real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the old version still. Whoops. Never mind.
Yeah. So like if you look at it right now, like I just brought up Dan's stream, Dan's Gaming, right? Follow, and then right next to it says notifications. Turn notifications on or off. And every broadcaster on the planet has had issues with their notifications not going out. And now when you tell someone, make sure your notifications are turned on, from a UX standpoint, the person can literally look to the left of their screen and see whether or not their notifications are turned on. And I think that that's huge. Also, like the fact that it says gift to sub right there is I don't know. Like, yeah, it's weird because it's not on any.
Yeah, it's not in any of their preview stuff.
I just like the fact that the pieces of interactivity that drive revenue are more revenue and interaction over the long term are more visible.
Sure. I think it's definitely a good update for streamers because like everything you just said. I don't know if it's the best visual update for viewers because they're going to try to get rid of that as soon as possible. Like viewers will try to hide everything that you just said because they just want to watch the stream. Like they're going to just immediately probably pop into theater mode, I would think within seconds of joining a stream, which I think most viewers do. If not, you should try it. Yeah.
I know I do.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I do the theater mode like immediately. Like, and also, I don't know if it's not a majority, but I would say a majority of regular Twitch watchers or long-time Twitch watchers have either FFZ or BTTV, where eventually it eliminates those little like it cuts the fat off of your stream however you like it, and they're always working on those kind of updates.
Yeah. Kobe, what were you gonna say? Do you remember?
I was gonna say like one thing that I think is a little bit flawed from a design standpoint on the new overlay is the fact that there's two different modes that you're in when you're on Twitch. There's either the mode where you are wanting a good experience watching the streamer that you've picked, and then there's also the mode of discoverability where I want to find new things. I want to go out and I want to see a new stream or see a new game and see a new streamer. And it seems like with the new design that they've kind of crossed those streams a little bit. It seems kind of weird to me that when you've clicked on a stream, like I want to watch this stream, that you basically have a whole left side of better options. So it's like you're looking at you click on a screen and the first thing you see that you can't even collapse is like a list of other things that you could be doing at that time.
Sure.
And that just seems a little counterproductive. It's like a lot of times those people click on a stream to go to the stream. They've made their decision. They want to see what this is about. So let's make that the center focus. Not like, hey, look at all these other places you could go and you can't, and it's like you can't even close it. And it's just
it's something I don't like. I discoverability,
but at the same time, it kind of I really do feel like if someone clicks on my stream, I'd like for my stream to be kind of the center point of what they're clicking on, not just for it to be like this little component of this large, more cluttered interface.
Yeah, Couldn't agree more. I don't want people to be watching my stream and then see somebody else follow, like pop up. And they go like, oh, that person I like better. I mean, all right, so you like them better. That's fine. I understand that. But I don't want you to be reminded of that, like while you're watching my stream.
To get to your stream, they most likely just went through a list like that. So it's kind of like they've made their choice at that point. And if it's not our streams, whatever, that's cool. Then enjoy whatever you're watching. But at the same point, like if I wish I could make it so click the stream and it's theater mode. Like that's it. It's an entire page of the stream and chat, and that's it. And there'll be buttons along the bottom. And if they want more, then it will remember what the user wanted, and then it will keep those preferences if they go back to that stream. Even better yet, just let users pick like what they want to be their default thing. Don't throw everything at them and just have them, hopefully they like some of it. Like let the user kind of customize their experience instead of just throwing the kitchen sink at them.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it is two things I want to note. I guess they've been working on this since Ko was playing Persona 5 and both Gathalion and Broman were into Monster Hunter months back, because those are what's currently playing right now on this screenshot. And Lyric's playing God of War, so that was 4 months ago, maybe, something like that.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah. And then secondly, I think a lot of people are complaining about the video player size when you first join a stream, but I kind of like this because now the info buttons are on the top 3 are visible the second you join the stream, which can be good and can be bad. Like you could probably pitch that to sponsors too, be like, these top 3s are going to immediately get an eye on them the second they join the stream if they don't have like auto theater mode. Alternatively, you can put your own stuff there, like a schedule or whatever buttons you deem necessary. So I think for a streamer, that's a good change. For a viewer, it's a bad change. So there's kind of a weird
panel has been notorious about being extremely buggy at different resolutions and stream sizes and how wide is the window you're using to look at it. So it's never been trustworthy enough to really pitch that kind of stuff in the past. I'd be surprised if it is with a brand new feature.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You are correct, but it has been so buggy in the sense that in a lot of deals, at least that I've done, companies request that they get a button, and I have to immediately respond, it's bugged and I can't change the order. So you're gonna be stuck at the bottom, unfortunately.
Ever since they remade the panel update system, it's been a mess. There's bugs in there that have been in there since the day they made it that are still in. Like it's still like you can't just send a window to the top and you have to scroll all the way to the bottom to make it and hope you can scroll up slow enough to where it works on the way. It's so bad.
Yeah, that's really annoying. I remember when they first put panels in, and I was like, this is not that great. And they're like, oh, don't worry, we're gonna keep an eye on it and update it. 6 years later, we're still using the same process that really hasn't changed much, as far as I know. So I hope they touch on that in the future. I definitely think that's one thing that needs a huge update right now on the site is the info. And I really wonder like how much use it actually gets. Like if they had analytics on the actual info section, that would be huge, a huge boon for streamers to see if it actually just fucking works. And if it's even worth like putting in a bunch of time and effort into that stuff. So, that's the new video update. But Zeke,
something that I absolutely love is that King Gathalion was fucking spelled wrong.
Oh, so this must be a Photoshop.
Oh, that is definitely spelled wrong.
I don't think he has anything on Ko Carnig.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even see
that.
I think they have to do that? No, Professor Brom. That looks. They spelled
ammunition wrong too. It's ANN.
Oh my god, man! 3 fucking name misspellings. Are you kidding me?
I mean that's just a result of the.
Oh well, Ko, they spelled your name wrong because they didn't want it to be you. Oh, so that's why they used my logo. Okay, cool. That makes sense.
Yeah,
but that's why they spelled everybody like they got about 50% right. This
is the case of a UI designer not knowing streamers on Twitch and just being like, well, I guess that makes sense.
Your name with that
job
E
I
makes you
have for
sound
company
like a
B
fortune
sure is
teller.
better than I had before.
Yeah, I didn't.
Your name
realize
with
any of
that E makes
Also,
you
I
sound
love,
like a,
I love how we all
like
don't
a
have.
fortune teller.
What was
I
that?
love how
Code?
we all have the exact same amount of viewers, and it's
Yeah.
all the exact same crazy arbitrary number.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
love having
I-
11,078 viewers. It feels so good.
I didn't notice any of that. Now that you guys pointed it out, I'm just like, this is a lie. This entire image is a lie. This is not what it looks like at all.
It's really funny.
I am the great Carnag. I will now predict.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
It's like New York. It's Carnegie.
Oh god. All right, let's talk about some fucking video games that aren't Warframe and whatever the Twitch updates are. Professor Broman, you've been going pretty ham, I think, into No Man's Sky. I think Co, you've also been jumping in a lot.
Yeah.
We'll start with Broman. What are your overall thoughts? I know you did a review on No Man's Sky, the next update, as they're calling it. What do you think about it?
Well, despite the fact that I put in about 16 hours and then had my progress wiped due to a save bug, I loved it. Like, I don't know if like you can get a better review than that. Like all my progress got completely obliterated, but I still enjoy playing the game. I just feel like it was a solid quality pass of like all the systems in the game. You know, it's so easy. There wasn't a lot to No Man's Sky when it first came out, right? Like the biodiversity wasn't there. There was like basically one way to do anything in the video game, and that was you had to like farm gigantic metal penises on every planet and then take the gigantic metal penises to the thing and sell it, and then you got money. Now like you can have all sorts of different approaches. Like if you want to build a base that's filled with botanicals that you sell, like an interstellar drug dealer, you can do that. The current build that I'm going for with my character is I have a bunch of S-class scanner mods. So I get to travel around and scan animals, and every time I scan a new animal, I make like 400,000 units. You know, so like it really just embraces like the fun of however you want to approach it, and it rewards it all in a fair way. Whereas there was really just sort of one path that you were supposed to follow last time. Also, the diversity of planets is way cooler.
Yeah.
What ship is this?
I don't know,
Nice
but that ship
ship.
looks awesome.
It's a cargo ship. And I got an S-class fighter, which is awesome. That's not this. This is like a cargo ship. It drives like a whale. It's impossible to turn. Fighting it, it's awful. But yeah, that and like assembling your fleet, like it just feels good. It feels like the game that everyone wanted 2 years ago. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
And the speed at which they have addressed issues has been pretty astonishing. Like within the first 48 hours, most of the really awful bugs, like the save wiping glitch and all the other stuff, that all, like they released a patch like almost every 12 hours fixing the game. Like every time I booted it up, people in chat were like, "Did you get the new patch? There's a new patch coming in 2 hours." So it's really like it's really, really enjoyable now. If you're looking for something to just stream and chill, that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah. How do you feel about it? Where are you at with it? With No Man's Sky?
Yeah, I have a much more thorough thoughts video on my YouTube about it, but the TLDR is when the game came out, it was a collection of half designed, half finished ideas in a sandbox with very few toys and very little direction. It was basically a glorified tech demo, and they should not have charged money for it. That's how I felt when the game came out. I even spent some time in it. It was okay, but it wasn't a game. It was just a bunch of ideas, essentially. And many of them, like I said, were not even like cogent. They didn't even make sense in some ways. However, over the last 2 years, it has become a game. Like I have been playing this now 20 plus hours, and I have multiple base building quests I'm still working on, 3 different main quests I'm currently doing. The progression systems have been completely redone in a more intuitive way. Upgrading is easier. The animals, planets, flora, and fauna, the procedural generation is so much better. Space stations actually feel alive. It actually feels like there's characters in the game instead of just static NPCs that say a few lines every so often. Tons more ships. The freighter system's fun. The base building's cool. Like it's a game now. It's a game now. It went from a half finished idea to a game. Now that being said, it is important to mention that this project still has a ways to go. There are major game save breaking bugs. There is a lot of confusion in the game between base building and freighter building, and the game confuses itself sometimes. There's ways to ruin your quest lines if you don't do things in the right order. Like it's undergone a lot of development, but it's kind of going fast and furious in the terms of there's some pretty major bugs that are still not only there, but like there's more than one way to corrupt your save and ruin it. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
More than one way.
Yeah.
And that's not good, especially when you're considering that this game is designed for people to play for hundreds and hundreds of hours. So there's some bad with the good, but overall it is a completely different product from when it was released.
Nice. Ignore the FPS, by the way. This game's running at 60 on Broman's stream, so it looks a lot better than this in terms of the smoothness. And secondly, Broman, are you playing much? Because I know, Ko, you're playing mostly by yourself, right? It's been a pretty much
almost completely solo.
Is it same for you, Broman? Are you grouping a bunch in it, or
the first 10 hours was with buds. Me, King Cathalion, and then Kevin on Mixer and Darkness 429 on Facebook. Like we were all screwing around. It's a lot of fun with friends. Like the fact that like you can go into someone's the fact that you have the train manipulator and you can literally build a mountain over somebody's ship and hide it from them. Like if they're off exploring, like you can dig a hole and cover it up, and when they come back they're like, wait, isn't my ship here? Where's my ship? Like especially during the first day when it was so buggy, people are like, why is it telling me my ship's here? Like, it's not here at all. I found another glitch, guys.
That's evil, man. That's fucking evil.
Yeah. Corey is evil. Thank you. I agree. King Cathalion is an evil son of a bitch. He tortures you in video games. That's what he does.
It's true.
But he's fun. It's fun to play with. You know, every story needs a villain, right?
It's true. That's true.
You bastard.
Zeke, we played this last week after Drop Frames with Ko a little bit. Definitely not your type of game, I think is how I'll intro you into the conversation. But even though it's not your type of game, what do you think about it regardless of that?
I mean, I have no hate for the game at all. Like I didn't pay money for it when it came out or anything like that. I didn't feel like betrayed or whatever people felt that I've heard, because I didn't buy it because I knew it probably wasn't going to be my particular brand of game. But it has like all the good elements of a game like this. Like I didn't care much for Subnautica, and that tons of people love Subnautica, and Subnautica was also like lonely. To start with, at least lonely base building. Subnautica had like a story that you would follow, though. Like, and people are going to bring that up, and that's fine.
Sure.
But the main, like, I don't know, draw of the game was not for me. However, it's gorgeous. The sound design, the visuals, everything is pretty great in the right spot. But honestly, it's. I don't know, man. There's something about maybe it's first or third person games that are like this that I don't like. Whereas like something like RimWorld, I can totally get into. I don't know why.
I mean, I think in some ways this game is kind of like the fun is what you make of it, and there's not really a clear direction. I mean, there's a story hook into it, but it's not. Like you don't have to follow that 1-to-1. It's you kind of do whatever the fuck you want, and so I think it might just not have like the direct line that you're looking for to progress through, potentially. And instead, it's like, hey, I'm gonna fucking collect a bunch of shit, and then I think I'm gonna make a house. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but maybe we just make a house look like this. So then, I'm gonna go maybe get a freighter. I guess I don't know. Let's see what happens. That type of stuff.
You know what I think it is. I think I put my finger on it when I was thinking about like the difference between games that are management and building I want a sense of franticness, a sense of gotta do it, gotta get it done now, or I have 20 different things that I could be doing right now. Whereas games like Subnautica and No Man's Sky feel like we're working towards one thing and we're getting one piece at a time to do this one thing. Sure. Whereas like a management game like RimWorld is, I'm getting little pieces of everything all at once.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I went back and played off stream last Wednesday only because I think this is maybe one of the like most relaxing games I've played in terms of if you get a good planet and there's no fucking whatever those eggs are called, the whispering whatever the fuck,
humming eggs where the biological horrors spawn and try and eat you.
If you're just chilling on a planet,
sentinels aren't giant robot sociopaths chasing you everywhere.
If you're just chilling, you know, I played for about an hour or two, just kind of fucking around on a planet there wasn't much like, I guess enemies is maybe the best thing. In doing so, the UI elements when it comes to the inventory of this game are trash. I think they're fucking dog shit, and that entire system should be revamped. I do not like them at all. There were multiple times where, I think they work better with a controller. Like using a mouse and keyboard, you look at the UI and you're just like, why? This does not make sense from a UI standpoint for it to be like this. And I think it's just because, you know, they designed it with the PS4 and controller in mind. Yeah. And so I hope they kind of go down that path and do a revamp of the interface for the UI shit, or for the inventory stuff. Because I'm not a fan at all. But apart from that, like, I think the visuals, there's a lot. I found myself going in the fucking like photo mode a lot of times when I would just like get up on a hill and you can kind of see out on the planet and there's like a trio of ships that would fly by. Be like, okay, let's just go into photo mode and see what I can do. And that was pretty cool. But apart from that, I didn't really get into a lot of the systems in terms of like building a giant base or going and getting a freighter and kind of going down that path. So I didn't really mess with it too much, apart from just kind of sightseeing, I guess. So I don't know if that's enough for me to be able to like recommend it to people, unless you are interested in everything else that I just kind of described and want to kind of push that stuff. So still a full price game, right? Still $60. I know it was on sale on Steam for $30, but is it?
You can get it on sale a lot of places.
Okay.
I tell people not to play full price for it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna buy
don't pay full price in this game. I think like GMG has a current really good special. It may have expired already, but GMG was the last big one I heard. It was a good place to get it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But dude, I completely agree with you. Like, it drives me crazy how unintuitive the UI is. And not only is it unintuitive, it's unresponsive. Like when you open up the craft a subcomponent thing on the PC, you can straight and click the up and down button arrows like 3 times before it works. And the worst part is, if you keep the mouse exactly where it is, you can click it like 10 times. But then if you move the mouse like a pixel in any other direction, then click, it works. And it's just like, who did this? And then the whole like constantly like press X to put this in a place kind of thing instead of just clicking. Why?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just make left click do all of that stuff?
Yeah.
Left click and then choose with left click. Why do I need to hit a keyboard button? Like, it's very strange.
What?
By the way, when we were mentioning this, a lot of people in my chat actually said there's mods that can clean this up. I have not tried that yet.
That's what I was going to say. The PC might, because this is moddable. So they could fix, like, the community could fix a ton of this stuff, which would be really cool if that's what happens. And it sounds like from what Stream Chat is saying, it's already been addressed in some capacity.
And for those in JP's chat saying this, no, I get crystal clear 60 FPS all the time in my game. That whole weird like clicks don't register on the UI, that's not your bad FPS. That is the UI, and it's bad design. Like, you misclick in the UI and when I say misclick, by the way, I mean your cursor's over the element, you click your button, and nothing happens. Yeah, like that happens all the time in the UI. Don't know why. It's very strange. Hopefully they'll fix it up.
Yeah. So we'll see where I'm always going to kind of keep an eye on this because I think it is kind of a unique story. Like I can't think of a game that had like this much push from a major company like PlayStation, like Sony behind it, and then it came out and had so much negative press because of all the hype behind it that was pushed by the game developers, and then 2 years later, they, patched it and did all the changes that we just discussed, and now people are saying like that they're quote loving this game. So that's kind of a crazy redemption story, which is cool to see. But I don't think I hope they're not done yet. Is also what
they have a roadmap out.
Okay, yeah.
Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Because I mean, there's some stuff in the game that hasn't even come out yet. Like there's 3 different currencies in the game. So you have like units and nanites, and then there's Quicksilver. And Quicksilver comes from community events, and there hasn't been one yet.
Oh.
So there's still stuff that's happening in the current release of the game, along with the stuff that's on the roadmap that like we don't know what a community event is.
Right.
Could it be like a Pokemon Go style, like we have to discover 1 billion planets this weekend, like, or scan, 3 million new different species of animals and things like that? Like those sort of things would be really fun to do.
Yeah. Is the
It'll also give reason to play like frequently, like not just play it for 10 hours and be done, but to return to the game if you're invested. Maybe they're going to give good items that can only be gotten through community events and stuff like they do in Warframe. I mean, that's the stuff that keeps people going back to games.
Totally. I forgot what I was going to ask now, but it's not important. So that's No Man's Sky. That's the next update. It's free update. You don't have to pay anything for it. As long as you have No Man's Sky, you got it.
Real quick before we go, somebody just mentioned that they extended the 50% off sale on Steam for another. Yeah, it's still $30. That sale definitely ended.
I hope
and
that
now
stays
it's
the price
until August 6th.
So is it full price on consoles then? So it's 60 on consoles, 30 on PC? If so, that's kind of weird, maybe. I don't know. I guess if you don't have a PC, you can't really, or a PC that can run it.
Oh, some folks are saying it's $30 on the PS4 shop.
Okay.
But 60 on Xbox?
Full price on Xbox, 30 on PS4. Well, Sony did have the giant marketing deal. It was pushed there more so than Xbox to begin with, so that might be why. It's probably
also, to be fair, Xbox is Xbox.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah, Xbox is Xbox. So there's always that. You can't forget that. You got to keep playing it, bro, man. And I guess Co as well. You guys kind of stuck with it for a little while, at least until Monster Hunter comes out.
I personally kind of go ahead.
I was gonna say, like I really like the idea of having a universe to come back to. As far as like how I like to approach my stream, like I always like to have something that can be there as a backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably keep playing it, and like Co was saying, like the community events, if those come out and they're killer, then I'll definitely be back. If not, it'll be fun to during low times when there's not a lot of other content, it'll be really easy to just hop back in and be like, all right, like let's see what we can find today.
Sure, that makes sense. Co, for you got to revisit it.
For me, like I've already been in this game twice as long as I thought I would. It's the kind of thing where I just keep finding more and more to do. Until I'm kind of at the same stage that I am in No Man's Sky as I was with Octopath, where I'm having a lot of fun playing it, but there's nothing really driving me forward to play it. Like the main stories are kind of cool, but to be honest, they're kind of vacuous and super high level. And like the end is the beginning and the beginning is the end, and we get that in games every so often. It's just lofty and stupid. But so none of that's really enough to keep me there. But it's fun to play, and I'm gonna keep playing it until until something better comes out. But unfortunately, now that we're going into August, I don't know how much longer that'll be.
Sure.
So
yeah. Quick 5 minutes on August and on Monster Hunter on the PC. Was playing last night. That game's real pretty on the PC, by the way. It runs at 60 FPS and it looks fucking gorgeous. And I played for like 2 hours. So
that is good to hear, man.
Yeah. So I'm running it at 1440p max settings, and every once in a while it would dip to like 50, like 45-ish, but for the most part it was stable around 60 FPS. And it's pretty good. I think I might use a controller still though on the PC. The mouse and keyboard kind of felt a little. It just didn't feel right, which is a weird word.
Like Dark Souls with the mouse and keyboard, man.
Yeah, and I granted I didn't grab a any of the ranged weapons, which is I think where a mouse would come in obviously pretty handy with like the FPS type controls. So I might do that to see how I feel, but I'm pretty sure. No, it's not locked FPS. It's uncapped FPS, but it idles around 60. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to play with a controller on that. But yeah, that I didn't expect to have that much of a for 60 FPS to have that much of an impact on gameplay, but it feels really, really good, and it looks really, really good too. And the load times, God, I had forgotten how bad I watched a video. There's a bunch of videos out there of people comparing like starting the game up on PS4 and starting it up on the PC, and on the PC the guy's like fighting the hunt while the map is still loading on the PS4. Like it is vastly, vastly superior when it comes to loading that stuff. But yeah, it's out. We can stream 3 hours before the 7th or something like that, but
yeah,
it's like 3 hours it's like a percentage, a very small percentage of that game. It's not very much. So you won't really see any coverage on it, I think, on Twitch until the 7th when it releases. I think that's when it goes out worldwide. So
Nope. I believe it goes out the 9th worldwide, doesn't it?
Okay. All right. I know my launch date. I don't know the world's launch date.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Embargo's up on 7.
Okay, cool. So yeah, people will be playing it and streaming it on the 7th. So look forward to that.
Yep.
Well, from that, let's jump into World of Warcraft just for 5 seconds. We're not going to necessarily talk about the game. We're going to talk about a patch that hit yesterday, and I'm going to read some. I found so yesterday in World of Warcraft, there was an update. So they're kind of doing these pre-patch events leading into the expansion, which launches on August 13th, called Battle for Azeroth. And yesterday, if you've ever followed the lore of Warcraft, you probably know who Sylvanas Windrunner is. She has now been. Do you know who that is, Ko, at all? Did you ever play WoW? Do you remember the Drow chick from Warcraft 3 that Arthas took over, kind of?
Yes.
That's Sylvanas. There you go. So she's the war chief now of the Horde, right? So she's kind of like the leader of it, so to speak. And yesterday, in a patch update, and even before yesterday, everyone knew that Teldrassil, I'm going to mispronounce it, Teldrassil, which is the night elf like world tree that exists that you could go to, and it was a city, and I think you could go to it and all that stuff. Everyone knew that it was going to be burned down, that someone was going to destroy it. But we didn't know who, because Blizzard kept that, and they wanted it kind of be a surprise. But everyone thought it was going to be Sylvanas. Yesterday, it was a Sylvanas. It was revealed in a cutscene in a video she put out, or Blizzard put out with her in it, that she's the reason that the world tree burned down. And the community lost their fucking minds over this. Here's some
bad way.
In a really bad way. Like so much so that they were like, there were writers on the team getting death threats from the internet.
Oh dear.
This is how I found out about this. One of the project leads like quoted one of the people that was helping with it and was like, the messages she's received are inexcusable, inhumane, toxic, and the worst that I've seen on Twitter. Like he just laid into people. He's And
the worst part is she joined after all these decisions were made, so they weren't even like viable.
Didn't even do the decision.
Yeah, she wasn't even there when the shit was decided. They just needed a scapegoat. The internet needed a scapegoat. But yesterday, while doing the event and playing WoW, I was browsing the WoW general forums, which is always a bad idea. Don't do this. This is not a good thing to do on the internet. It's a terrible spot. But in doing so, there's some amazing threads in there, which are just fantastic. A lot of them since yesterday have been banned. The threads were removed. But I found 2 of my favorite, and I'm now going to read them for you. So this thread is entitled, "Unsubscribe from WoW in protest of bad writing and launch, if only temporarily, ... And it reads as thus. This post is not to discuss if the story is bad, parenthesis, it is. Or if the intro to BFA has been a huge letdown, parenthesis, it has been. But to talk about the validity of unsubscribing from WoW, parenthesis, temporarily, to demonstrate that Blizzard needs to win us back. Let's face it, BFA up to this point has been a disaster. The story is formulaic and bland, the 8.0.1 launch has been full of game-breaking bugs, and the pre-launch event has been underwhelming to put it mildly. So is it time to put up or shut up? Question mark. I personally have unsubscribed from WoW not because I hate the game, but because I love it. I have friends here. I've spent hours in Azeroth and think they have crafted a wonderful experience up until now. For those reasons, I will not continue to support them until they get back on track. What are other thoughts? Is unsubscribing too hasty, or is it time to use our strongest form of protest? This has 26 pages of discussion on it. Quite good. Highly recommended. The second thread, and then I'll be done with this, and we can kind of discuss a little bit.
That actually, before you go on, that actually kind of reminds me of that moment in My Cousin Vinny, where he's like, "That was a well thought out and very, very eloquent objection. Overruled."
Yeah. Exactly. This thread is entitled "Horde Players," with an asterisk after Horde Players, "are worse than the story." Slanty face after that. And then the thread starts and it says asterisk, "Not all Horde players. My God, I'm like one step away from deleting all my Horde tunes. Not because of the story, as messed up as it is, but because of the reaction in the guilds and communities I'm in on my Horde. They're filled with people justifying what just happened, saying casualties are a casualty of war, saying that Sylvanas didn't kill innocents, the Night Elves did by not evacuating earlier, despite having no indication they'd ever reached Darnassus. I've seen some truly horrible things in chat in my life, but the full-on justification of genocide, that takes the cake. It makes me sick to play my Horde tune now because I have to see that chat. This is the type of shit that's all over WoW right now, and it's fucking hilarious. I absolutely love that like people are this passionate about this fucking game. It's so crazy, man. You can find threads like this and more.
What is the morally gray thing that everybody's like?
Ion, who I think is the lead, he used to be something other than this, but I think he's now the lead game designer on WoW. Was at BlizzCon and came out and said that Azeroth is a morally gray world. And so that's kind of the quote that everyone's putting on everything now is like, you know, anytime something like off color or edgy happens, they're like, oh, that's morally gray. That's the meme. It's like, oh, it's
gotcha.
Yeah. So
the part that's so weird to me is there have been large groups of people genociding large groups of people in video games since video games were invented.
No. Here's you could even go for or take it one step forward instead of back. The game is called World of fucking Warcraft. It's not World of we're gonna make peace and have fucking babies and have rainbows and hearts. It's called World of Warcraft.
What?
People are going to die in war and things are going to burn in war. It's not called Sea of Friends. It's called Sea of Thieves. And what do you do in Sea of Thieves?
Yeah.
You fucking steal from people.
Not boats and friends.
Yeah. Like that whole thing was just so funny.
It was my first day on Sea of Thieves. I was like, oh, there's a guy. Jump on his ship, stab him, take his stuff, throw my boat. Roman, I've never seen you something like that in a video game. And I'm like, well, I've never been a pirate. I'm a pirate right now. That's what pirates do.
Yeah. I think the other thing, at least what a lot of people, I kind of took it to the extreme. A lot of people are just saying that it's really bad writing. Because we've already experienced a war chief in World of Warcraft kind of go crazy like this when they blew up. There's another like harbor city that I'm forgetting the name of. When Garrosh blew that up before Warlords of Draenor, before Mist of Pandaria, and then he was the final boss. So a lot of people are upset that it's like the same story and that potentially Sylvanas might be another fight towards the end of this expansion, that we've already done stuff like that. So I can see that angle of it, where that they're upset about bad writing. But when has WoW ever had good writing? Like, you're not really playing WoW because it's a fucking well thought out narrative. Like, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. And people are saying Wrath of the Lich King. Wrath of the Lich King is just Warcraft 3's expansion continued. I don't know if you could say that WoW had good writing with that. You could say that Warcraft 3 had good writing and they continued on it and finished that story. That whole thing is just weird. The amount of like people that were just outraged yesterday was mind-boggling to me. So you can go watch the video. You don't have to play the game to watch the 4-minute thing that was put out yesterday if you want to see Sylvanas that destroyed Teldrassil, the World Tree. But apart from that, it's been a shit show in the WoW world. So I'm really excited for BFA launch because I can already see people like protesting the game and like saying they're not going to play until they fix the story and all this shit. It's going to get kind of weird. So that is that. Speaking of Sea of Thieves, bro, man, there's an update that came out yesterday. What's it called again? I'm not a Sea of Thieves aficionado like yourself.
First Sales, I think, was the one.
Okay. How is it?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh, you haven't played it yet? Okay.
I haven't played it yet.
Have you heard thoughts from anyone that has? Uh-oh.
I haven't.
Well, I guess a better question is, are you just not super eager to jump into it, or you just been doing No Man's Sky stuff?
Well, here's what happens. Here's like, I've been loving No Man's Sky. Destiny launched their like annual event that they do. Like they have like a Moments of Triumph or Age of Triumph. They do like before they launch every like, iteration of their 1-year thing. So that happens. So I've been playing that. But the thing with Sea of Thieves was like I got super amped when they launched like the Megalodon quest, and it was 4 hours and then it was done. There's no progression. There was no things to do next. Like it didn't expand the world. It just like from a player experience standpoint, those 4 hours are fun. After that, fucking sucked. So I have a hard time wanting to jump back into Sea of Thieves when I feel like there's no progression there. Like if I don't know if that makes any sense, but like the Megalodon, like I thought like, oh, you'd hunt it and then it would show up other places, or at least like when you killed it, it would vomit up the chests of all of the other ships it ate. But no, like literally, like you kill it and it's just dead. And then you get something you stick on the front of your ship and that's it. And that was like, that felt really underwhelming to me. And so I know like Cursed Sails, I think that's the update with like the AI ships, right? Where like you'll have now you can encounter free roaming AI ships that you fight and attack. But it's not like there needs to be a little bit more depth in Sea of Thieves. And I understand that it's like an experience based game, but like Ko was saying about No Man's Sky, like you want something pulling you forward, like or pushing you like to keep playing the game. Like, oh, I want to find out what's next. And with No Man's Sky, for me, it's like the exploration. Like every planet's different enough that I'm like, well, what's over that hill, right? And that's constantly pulling me forward. But with Sea of Thieves, once you've memorized the ocean, that's your ocean. That's it.
Yeah.
And until they expand and they maybe add like a couple new seas to sail or things like that, or like deeper progression systems, I really have no interest in it, which kind of sucks because it was a ton of fun. My best stream ever was the launch day stream of Sea of Thieves, like hands down. I don't know if I'm ever going to have a better stream than that. I was drunk for 12 hours straight. We had a 4-man crew. We were blasted and it was incredible. But like, there's just, after you've done it all, what do you do?
Yeah.
That's how Sea of Thieves feels right now for me.
Do you know how many people are still playing that game actively? Like, is it a pretty active community?
It seems like it's always popping up on my Twitter feeds, but I don't know how many people are actively playing it. I know it's part of that Game Pass, right? So like if you have Xbox Game Pass, you have this game by default, which is one of the reasons why I felt like when they launched it, everyone's like, this isn't a full price game. And I'm like, this isn't, they're launching this service with that game, right? Like you could buy it for $60, but really what they want you to do is go, $60 is too much. $10 sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get the Game Pass and try it out. On Xbox Game Pass or whatever. So, I'm going to wait until there's so much stuff in there that I can kind of hop in for a nice like 12 hour, 24 hour session of time with it to sort of re-experience it. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Okay. I know like Gassy and Burke and that crew were playing last night, but I didn't get a chance to watch it, so I'm not sure if they were super into it or feeling it. But I feel like if those guys have a bad time with any game as a group, then it might be doing not so great. So I'm not certain. I can't really speak to it too much.
The streamer Eve, streamer I watch pretty frequently. He
Mhm.
does all sorts of fun types of games, but he's been playing a lot of a lot of Sea of Thieves lately. And I mean, he's been doing the same thing pretty much over and over, which is mainly just PvP and small group combat and stuff. But he's still just having fun with it. I mean, every time I drop in there, he seems to be enjoying it. So as long as you really enjoy those foundation mechanics, I think there's still some fun to be had in it. But like Roman said, I mean, it gets to the point where you've been everywhere and seen everything twice, and at that point, you're just kind of spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think games like, and I guess No Man's Sky did this a lot more than Sea of Thieves, but do you think games like No Man's Sky and Sea of Thieves put a cloud of skepticism around games like that to come out in the future, where people aren't going to 100% buy in until they know what the fuck is going on in that game? Because if they've been like kind of ruined or wronged in the past by games like No Man's Sky and Sea of Thieves, do you think that's anything that occurs, or do you think they're just going to still kind of blindly do that? Still blindly buy into it, I mean.
I feel like if this is like a consumer behavior question,
Yeah.
I feel like with No Man's Sky, Sea of Thieves, things like that, places where like there's been it's No Man's Sky in particular, where there's been like a massive burnout. Like everyone's like, this is why you don't pre-order games. And then the people who defend pre-ordering games were like, you know what? You're right. Like hands off on this one. You are right.
Yeah.
Because this is an atrocity. Like that. I definitely feel like the consumer environment for people who are like buying games, I feel like people are getting increasingly more cautious.
Yeah.
Until they know exactly what's happening. And we even saw that at E3 with Anthem, because there were so many people who were so excited about Anthem, like, oh, mechs and gear and loot and shoot and blow everything up. And then they saw Anthem's presentation and they all went, oh shit. Like, I don't want anything to do with this game.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's about anymore. I'm not interested. Like, even me, like you, like my reveal stream, you can literally watch the joy just leave my face. Like, I was like, woohoo! I was like, I can't wait. There's a podcast episode. Why are they doing a podcast episode? Why are they telling me? Why
that
are they
was a really bad
game system?
Yeah. Did you watch the full video they put out like a month or so ago, by the way, about Anthem?
I have watched the coverage that should have been at E3 as they slowly released it later.
Right.
And that has kind of like reignited my desire to play the game. But like, people are, I'm a really forgiving guy. Like I don't need everything up front when it comes to like my game purchases. I'm okay with, getting my hands burned if I buy something that sucks. But even me, like, I'm getting more cautious. Like, I was really excited about this, but now I don't know. And I think that it's like these big failures are sort of driving people to like wait. Like what's coming out? Everyone's really, really excited about Rend. It's coming out. And like I watched some trailer stuff for it, and I'm like, I don't know if it's for me. And I'm usually the guy that's like, I'll just jump in. But like, I want to wait.
Yeah. We'll see. I feel like you can. There's so many games you can lump into that kind of Destiny 2 to an extent. You can lump into
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I think that might have been the one like between No Man's Sky and Sea of Thieves to fill that overhyped void. I saw you were playing some Destiny yesterday.
Oh boy!
By the way, what were you doing in Destiny yesterday?
Yeah. Oh well, like I said, they launched the. It's called Solstice of Heroes. So like they have the annual event that sort of, it's like, this is like everything that's happened this past year, and they'll release like new items, weapons, and gear. So like right now, and this is the reason why I'm playing, honestly, is because so you can see like that green gear that I had on the right side there.
Yeah.
There's this new system they built for the Solstice gear that involves like doing all of this stuff in game to sort of forge it. And I wanted to like make sure I played through that, because like, even though I stream whatever I want now, I'm not like a Destiny streamer anymore.
Right.
I do like have a lot of, I have a lot of passion and care, and like I want to give good feedback for that game because I think it's it has a lot of potential. So like playing through Solstice of Heroes, this whole idea of like, okay, so you have like this helmet, but you want to ascend it to the next level, so you need to complete this difficult quest, go into Crucible, kill 200 guys with a super, and then use arc energy weapons to kill as many enemies as you possibly can, like in this area, and then it'll take your helmet up to the next level. You kind of have to do that with every single piece of gear. You actually have to do it all at the same time, not one piece at a time, and then it'll jump up to the next level. I think a system like that is something that Destiny's been missing. So I sort of wanted to play through it and have and experience that. Because one of the things I loved about Destiny 1 is it had that like mindless MMORPG grind where it was like, cool, I just got this drop and now I have to go to the planet and run around in circles and pick plants until I can finish building it. So this is like in my mind, like another iteration to that. So that's why I was playing Destiny yesterday. Otherwise, I'm after this is done, I'm not touching it until Forsaken comes out, which Forsaken looks like it's got a lot of promise to it, a lot of promising, interesting approaches, and the new gameplay mode looks fucking incredible. And I got to play that at Guardian Con, and it was a blast.
Sure.
So, Broman, yeah. I wanted to ask you kind of an unrelated question here, and this does not need a full answer. Gotcha. Just like a very brief one here, because since No Man's Sky, this question has kept coming up over and over, and I've had some discussions with people on it, and I've heard both sides. But here's what okay. We have like free-to-play games that develop over time, and they go from something to very good, like Path of Exile, Warframe. We have a game like No Man's Sky. It releases, the community is outraged, so the devs spend 2 years making like 3 updates. So then Destiny 2 comes out. The community is pretty frustrated. They're really loud. They're angrily vocal about how they're not going to play it. The player base kind of drops off pretty hard. Bungie then does this huge summit, brings in all the players, gets a ton of feedback, decides to make a lot of very positive changes that the community wants and has been telling them they want, and is now charging them for it.
Yes.
Does that is that an issue in the Destiny community that they didn't give the community what they wanted, and now they're trying to and making them pay for it?
So this is the like the finesse on that. All of the core mechanical changes to the game are coming to everyone for free. So like the change, the like the new weapon system, everybody gets that.
Okay.
Like when they do a sweep over, so when they change it from like power or from like kinetic energy and power weapon back to like the 3 weapon slot stuff that they demoed where you can run 3 shotguns if you want, everybody gets that. Everybody, according to their current roadmap, if it doesn't get bumped, everyone will actually have a week with that system before Forsaken even comes out. So like so like
that's cool. See, there was definitely some confusion in the way it was told to me, to where I thought people had to buy Forsaken to get these
changes like that behind a paywall. I would have an incredibly large issue with it. But no, like but even at the same time, like it's tough, right? I understand the consumer demand of like there's all these free to play games that change, but like there's also the fiscal pressure of the fact that like Bungie's a AAA studio, and so like they have to get revenue out of the product at some point. And I think that if the Destiny community was super accepting of microtransactions, maybe this is something that could have come out for free. But every time Destiny's put in microtransactions, it's been pitchforks and axes everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of ways, as much as I like the game, I do feel like there's a really unfortunate player and developer relationship that's kind of been forged due to like mistrust and miscalculations on a lot of things, especially like starting at Destiny 2 was like launch is when it really, I mean, you saw it like at full force, like full backfire.
I saw you guys, man. I remember watching a lot of you and King Gathalion, and just like some of the streams, like you could just tell, like you could see in your faces.
Well, like there was the moment for me when I was like, okay, like I need to care about this, but I need to have my hands off, and I need to like I can't make this the core of all my content anymore. Was they had this like snafu where you earn these bright engrams that you can also purchase, right? And the way it was presented was you earn these bright engrams via experience, but there was a hidden scaler in the game that made it exponentially more difficult to earn these via experience which is wrong. Like that's not. So basically, it's like you get your first 3 like at 1 hour increments, and then it would take 2 hours, and then 4 hours, and then 8 hours, and then all this other stuff. Like that might not be exact math, so don't like come at me. But that's the basic stuff. So I was saying for a month before this was found out by like this literally took a player going into the numbers and like doing math with like pixels on screens, and like I killed this guy and I got 80 experience, but it only moved the bar this much. But I killed him here and it moved it this much. And so like all this fucking math. And then he basically hit this post and said, there is a hidden exponential scaler for this thing. And the only reason that he could think of is like, this is to force you to do microtransactions. And so I had been defending the system as fair because it looked fair and it wasn't. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I will wait and I will let Bungie handle this problem. And I'm just going to stream whatever the hell I want. And I'll come back to it when there's, something interesting to do. But yeah, like things like that, these massive disconnects where there's stuff that looks really dishonest, even if it was an honest mistake, which no consumer would ever believe when there's money involved. Even if it was an honest mistake, it was a really horrible honest mistake. And there was just sort of like multiple iterations of this same sort of issue. My sincerest hope is that with this new DLC that everything turns a corner. And I think that, like you mentioned, having the player summit where they actually brought everyone out and took feedback was incredibly important. And I hope that that's something that they continue to do, whether it's like bringing people out for a summit or doing like EA has the Game Changers stuff. Like there's like ways to take high level feedback, and high level feedback doesn't mean it has to be streamers and content creators. The Bungie summit included people that had, like podcasts and people who are clearly invested in the game and its community. And that's a great way to bring in feedback. And a lot of the changes that are really positive came out of those meetings. So, I hope that continues happening, and I hope that everything turns out great. I'm optimistic for the first time in a while. And yeah, like I just hope that things keep progressing in a positive direction.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Thank you for your insight on that. That's the first time I've heard like from a Destiny guy how this all works. So awesome.
Yeah, the launch was hard. It was hard for a lot of different reasons, for a lot of different for them in particular too.
Makes sense. When does the Forsaken stuff come out, by the way? That's September?
September 4th is when Forsaken launches.
Fuck, man. There's
damn.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Right around
There's
the corner.
so much grinding coming up.
It's a lot. I'll be obviously focused on that. There's a new raid, so we want to try and get another world first and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that stuff's always fun it's fun to watch. I can't imagine or I can imagine it's super fun to stream without a doubt.
It's really fun to stream.
I'll never forget. I watched you guys get your world first from the airport when I was traveling last time.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and like I remember just sitting there, like they were boarding my plane, and you guys were almost about to get it, and I was like, "Come on!" You guys were trying to figure out. Like, oh man, it was good.
So wild.
Those are fun streams. Those are really fun streams.
Yeah, I like watching the streams, and I also like watching the videos that Bungie usually puts up when they're in their little theater with the entire dev team. Like, I guess the people that created the raid, and they're watching the streams race one by one.
Yeah, they have a dev theater.
Yeah, that stuff is really cool to watch. The fact that they're that invested in kind of their player base progressing through a raid to see who gets it done first is cool to see for sure. Well, cool. That's Destiny. I was looking at your past games. We talked about Warframe. We talked about No Man's Sky. I didn't realize you played some Death's Gambit.
Yes, I did.
How is that?
Oh man,
my eye's been on this for a while.
Okay, so my sponsor GOG got me an early look at it, which is super cool. I got it's like a 2 or 3 hour demo, depending on how far you take it. But I played it because I was cautiously interested in it. There was a game that I kind of heard was similar to it called Salt and Sanctuary.
Yep.
And I tried that game and it was pretty good, but like I only played it for like a session or two, and then I didn't really feel like I never really was engaged with it. I always felt it was okay. So when I came into this one, I was like, you know what? I'll take a look. I can't promise anything. Hopefully I'll finish the demo. And that's basically, so that's how I came in. However, I have to say, like, This is a cool game. Like, you pick a class at the beginning, you pick a side item. It's very Dark Soulsy. The characters are voice acted with good voice actors. The levels were fun. The boss fights were pretty difficult. There's a full passive skill tree. There's active skills. There's tons of items and weapons, and the animations are super crisp. The graphics are fun. Like, I ended up playing it beginning to end twice in a row, just because I wanted to try a different class. And the part that drove me crazy is the demo ends like right when you're getting to the good part. Like, you get, and this is not really spoilery for the record, and I think there's other streamers that are going to be playing this. This game comes out on the 14th, so there's still some time. But basically, you like spend an hour and a half working through this area, and you finally, this is a 5-phase boss fight. At least I think I've only gotten to the 5th phase, but it's the kind of thing where you work for 2 hours and you climb up this like area, and it pans over this beautiful jungle area, and there's like all these stalls and characters lounging around and all this stuff going on, and then the demo ends. So like right when you get to the main quest hub in town, like the demo ends. So yeah, that
was a real
was
Soten vibe to it.
Symphony of the Night, is that?
Symphony of the Night.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard it. I've never heard it called Soten. That's so interesting.
That's from that's speedrunning. Like,
Do they
like
really say Soten?
Soten, yeah, it's a Soten run.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like I've
Because you don't want to say Symphony of the Night all the time and type Symphony of the Night all the time when you're talking about Symphony of the Night.
Well, I've heard it
Already in that
abbreviated.
sentence, you're exhausted of me saying Symphony of the Night all the time.
Yeah, I just thought they called it SOTN, but yeah. No, Soten makes sense, man. That's
SOTN, Soten. I mean, like, just
a
maybe that's just me.
revelatory statement.
Yeah.
It does, though. I agree. It looks like that. So is it obviously I think the first thing that they're going for, and I think you said it as well, Dark Souls, is it as responsive as that? It looks really responsive. Like, it looks good.
very tight.
Okay.
Very, very tight. I was kind of worried at the beginning that it wouldn't be, but yeah, the controls are good. There's 2 different weapon slots you can use, and you can use each easily. The way that the abilities work is you have to like do different things depending on your class to earn that purple bar on the top left, but you also have stamina that you're dealing with as well. So there's kind of a 2-side to it. You use Phoenix feathers, kind of like an Estus flask, but there's also this whole system where you can make your character stronger by sacrificing different parts of that. You can turn the game, apparently, I think, permadeath by deleting the contract in your inventory that you have with death. There's just all these cool little nuances where
That's fucking awesome.
looks like Dark Souls, but it's doing tons of other stuff too. Also, if you noticed at the end of that boss fight, I actually got some of the things called shards. Well, apparently on the multi-stage boss fights, every time you make progress on the boss, you're rewarded. So as I was fighting this boss, instead of me losing all this progress every time, like every time I made progress, it would be like, oh, you get this many shards or this many shards because you actually got to the next phase and stuff like that. So that was kind of awesome. There's also heroic bosses. So whenever I'd beat a boss, you could go back and then do the heroic version, which would hit like 3 times harder. I shouldn't even touch them. There's a full store system. I found 2 different one vendor that sold all sorts of weird items, and another one that I accidentally killed. And then what's also really cool that I love this in Dark Souls, and I love to see it here. Every item has a description, and every description is like this little 2 to 4 sentence thing that like places that item in the game world and gives it significance, and why its purpose is what it is. And yeah, it's cool, man. I have a feeling this is gonna be like a keeper.
Let me ask you a question. There's been a lot of 2D style games that have aspired to be the 2D Dark Souls games. Salt and Sanctuary, one of them. There's been a handful of others that I can think of that kind of had the same vibe to them. Is this one the one that's the closest to it? That's like nailing it? Like, where do you put it on that spectrum?
So far for me, out of the games that I've played, this one comes the closest to being 2D Dark Souls. Okay. But at the same time, it's actually doing some cool things on its own enough to differentiate itself. It's pretty wild, but like I said, it's very rare that I'll sit down and like play the same content twice, especially if it's just to check out another class. But like I said, I had a pretty damn good time with this, and it felt good. It was fun. Beating bosses gave that great feel of doing something really difficult. But there was a hidden boss that I just happened to find. I didn't beat. That guy right there. Uh-huh. Oh my god, dude! Like I think some of the fights in this game are going to be really difficult, like really difficult, which is really good in my opinion too. So There's also like an aura system where you kind of have
There's
this
a tiny
passive.
human on you, Co.
Yeah, there is a tiny human.
Yeah.
Tiny human on you.
Yeah,
in
Yeah,
the
that's my
video.
kid Rowan.
Be careful.
Learning how to wave high.
Be careful about the tiny human. The scariest boss of Dark Souls.
A serious boss of real life.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my
He will
god.
slay
Well,
everything you have. And
Everyone knows.
Yeah,
having
only
a
takes
kid,
18 years to beat it.
Yeah, everyone knows. Man, I could. I'm just gonna leave that alone. I could make a.
that sounded so terrible. But
Yeah, I was gonna push the terribleness of that, but we're just.
No, I'm happy you didn't.
let's just let it slide. No
Let's just
one
let it
notices.
go. Let's just let it go.
Drop frame.
But yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
it's really cool, and I have to admit, like I was very pleasantly surprised. This game went from a game I knew was coming out, but wasn't even really like there were so many other games I didn't even know if I was going to have a chance to play it. To there is no question I'm going to be playing this game.
Oh yeah,
Like that's
no,
in the
you're-
little amount of time that I played it.
I
So,
remember
yeah.
the trailers of this were like climbing on like giant fucking monsters and stuff. It looked great just from the trailers like 2 years ago, and now that it's actually coming out and
Very good.
playable. What is
I'm
that?
pretty sure I tried and attempted this. So you'll see like how hard and how fast he hits, and then look at my life. And keep in mind, I'm using something right now that doubles my life bar.
Jeez,
Uh,
yeah, it's pretty tough. Yeah,
I'd be dead. I would have been dead right there if I had not had my item. But I
So-
have this thing called a fragile soul on, which doubles my vitality until I die, and then the item shatters and is lost forever.
mm.
So
Oh.
fun.
What the fuck is that?
That's like this weird animal deer thing that's throughout the game. There's lots. The world itself is just weird, and like the story's pretty cool too. I'm not to spoil it because you find all this out at the very beginning of the game, but basically like this guy kills your entire unit. You're like some part of some army unit, and this dude kills them and burns them all alive, and then
Oh.
essentially like brings you back from the dead so you can go tell all their families about it.
What a nice guy.
Oh, that's very
And
nice
then
of him.
Death shows up and is like, "Oh yeah, so you're dead and you're basically in my service now. So here's this contract, and anytime you die, I'm going to bring you back. Just don't don't lose the contract, or I'm not bringing you back." And that's when you get like an actual item in your inventory that is the contract you have with Death. And yeah, like it's really strange. The part, like I said earlier, that drove me crazy is I feel like I was just getting to some of the lore.
Yeah.
Outside of what I learned from the items, which you do learn a lot from the item descriptions. Like for instance, the crazy vendor guy sold this helmet that had like literally a paragraph of lore on it. And what the helmet does is it gives you more life and stats if your health is above 75%. But if your health drops under 75%, then the god that inhabits the helmet grows thorns inside of it, latching it to your head and dealing damage every second.
Oh God. Okay.
So there's all sorts of like these crazy weird things
That's
just
pretty
in the
cool.
game. And that was just like this one little vendor guy at the beginning that I found. So I mean, it's got some fun in it,
When
and
you get-
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
When you get a new piece of equipment, does it change the look of your character?
I don't know if the armor did. I know that
Ah.
I found a halberd at some point on my strength playthrough, and that was like a completely different play style. There's also a lot of things that items were saying and abilities were saying that I didn't really understand. Like one of them like gave 5% life back on a combo finisher, and each weapon kind of has its own little set of combos. So I'm not sure if it meant like at the end of one of those or when I use one of my special abilities. So there's a lot to this game that I'm still going to be learning, and probably will be learning on live.
Yeah. Fuck. This comes out the same day as the WoW expansion. So that sucks for me. But maybe I'll play this leading into. What the fuck? Is there a giant bird dropping fire on you?
Oh, it's trademark dragon blown fire.
I love
It's
how
kind
it's
of
like
hilarious.
zooming
When I got
out.
to this point in the game, everyone was like, "It is Dark Souls! Like this is great!"
That's awesome. It like zoomed out everything. Fuck. Well, I'll definitely be checking this out. Is this coming to more things than PC, by the way? Do you know if it's on
I
consoles?
don't know for sure. I got a very little tiny sellout bit though. If you're a terrible, horrible person
Mm-hmm.
and pre-order games like I do, I can
Mhm.
actually get you 10% off on this game on GOG if you want it. So just hit me up and I
Nice.
will give you that code. But yeah, if you're already planning on ordering it and you want it on PC, which
Nice.
it may be out on other stuff. So
Cool.
there's that.
That game looks great. I'm super hyped about
And
that.
Can anyone? I'm sorry, you might have already covered this. Can anyone play this demo?
No, this was an early look. I'm not sure how to get access to it. I got it through GOG, so I'm not sure who else has access or can get access. If you're interested, Zeke, I can see if they'll ping you.
There you
Okay,
go.
cool.
Check it out.
Also, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while. Is there a reason you don't say GOG and you say GOG?
I have been using GOG for years before it was like an actual deployment platform. GOG is good old games. They used to basically just sell old games. So for the longest
I've been
time,
there a lot.
I
I play a
called
lot
it
of old
good old
fucking
games.
games.
Yeah, well, yeah, because so for the longest time, that's all I called it. I never called it GOG or anything like that. I called it good old games. So so that's why for me, I always say GOG and not GOG. Yeah.
Makes sense. It's time for Indie Sunday. Zeke, I think you played 4 games this week. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it'll be a short one because they're revisits. This was Indie Sunday All-Star Day, which means like I looked up 10 games that deserved a second look, and I let the audience vote on because I would play them for 2 hours a piece, or until I beat them, because some of them apparently were not that far away from being completed. So, so I beat a couple games. I'm not sure if I played 4 or 5. I'm not positive, but
I counted 4 plus the usual game at the end.
Okay,
but we'll see.
Okay, cool.
I remember this one. Did you beat this one?
Yes, buy this game. This game is fucking fantastic. Seriously, I cannot recommend it enough for anybody, all ages, all intelligence levels. It is so much fucking fun. Not only that, the sound design is top fucking notch. The sense of humor is ridiculous, cartoony. I mean, look at the guy, and he's like trying to get out of this glass, and you hear him go like, "Arr!" And there's no real music in it, or excuse me, real voices in it. It's all just like when they talk to each other, they do that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Like that kind of stuff. It's a charming, hilarious, well designed puzzle game that I could not recommend enough. It is $10. It's called Chuchel, Chuchel. And if you ever forget while you're playing it, they put the fucking title on the fucking screen
multiple times.
Like every chapter.
That's how I knew to get this game title up on the screen. Not because what you said, but because it was on there. I was like, I'm gonna hope that's the name, and we'll just put it up there. So,
I will say that the game only takes about 2 hours to beat it. But I felt like it was money well spent. $10, 2 hours. It was, I mean, for $5 an hour for a well spent hour. Hell yeah, dude.
Cool.
I mean, like, I kind of do the movie thing. Like, would I spend, like, if the game takes 2 hours and it's $10, because I'm going to just the ticket of a movie is like $10.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's a good way to gauge.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. For a little aside, and also there's different solutions, so you can actually go back through it and figure out different solutions to some of the puzzles. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I remember.
The CH is pronounced the same way it was in Chrome, so it's Kukul.
Oh, I was saying Chuchel, but it's Kukul.
That's dumb. It's Chuchel.
Okay.
That's dumb. It's Chuchel.
All right.
No one will know what you're saying if you say Kukul. No one will suspect that it's a K sound.
People might think that you're trying to pronounce another word, but anyways. Let's move on to, I remember this game. What is this game?
Yes. Oh my God. I love this game. I went back to it. This was the first game that was voted got the most votes. It's called West of Loathing. And it is just like you see it. It's a stick figure RPG game where this is just the battle screen. There's an overworld. You travel around. The sense of humor is really like goofy and very well done. Like every time you go to like a place with a spittoon and you want to, it's like examine the spittoon, and like the text goes like, really, you're gonna do this? And it like you have to go through like 5 different boxes of text
awesome.
before it actually allows you to like reach into the spittoon, and then it berates you. It's like, now your hand is covered in disgusting brown tobacco spit, and you have a gun that's also covered in that same disgusting brown tobacco spit. I hope you're happy and proud of yourself. Like shit like that.
That's awesome.
It's fucking great. We discussed this a little while ago. It's just a fantastic game. I think I've played it for I've got 10 hours in the game. It's an RPG, so it's gonna take some time. You go around, you fight things, you collect stuff. There's random encounters when you're going from place to place. But the thing that makes it really cool really fun is definitely the sense of humor that it has.
Yeah. The writing and whatnot.
That's how you walk
Most of these
around.
books are fake. Yo, yeah. You can engage silly walking.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like it's a box that you can check. Like, do you want to do silly walking? And then so every few seconds or so, you walk on your hands, or you crawl like a baby, or you do like a fucking ballerina dance.
That's amazing.
Like as you walk. So yeah.
That's amazing.
There's also colorblind mode, which is nice. You check the box and it does nothing.
Yeah. I started to ask, what does that actually do? But there you go.
Nothing.
Mr. Business, the horse. Oh my god.
Yeah, Mr. Business, my horse. Yep.
This
And
looks like
my name
kind
is
of bullshit.
my name is this is the overworld map. You go from place to place as you're traveling. Like in the middle, you'll get encounters and stuff. It's just a fantastic game. My name in the game is Filthy Jack Danger Horse Poker. And you actually acquire like you do a quest, and then it changes your actual middle name to Danger.
Nice.
It's a really great game. West of Loathing, $11. Absolutely, totally worth it. Can't recommend it enough.
Sounds like you got some.
Unless you're lack of sense of humor.
Yeah, and you hate games, so I won't be playing it.
But you won't play it.
Yeah. What is this?
We already saw this game. This game was the second voted game. This game is called Lust for Darkness. You remember the one with all
it's the one with the
sex.
shoulder massage machine.
Yeah. This is the
exactly.
one where I got messaged and almost got banned. I remember this one. Yeah.
You did?
No. I was worried about it though, because you were like, no, just keep 5 more
keep
seconds.
going.
Just 5 more seconds.
Oh yeah. You should go back to the beginning of this section.
We're good.
Oh, come on.
No, fell forward once.
Game about? Are you in hell?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Pitch it to Broman.
It's unapologetically like demonic and sexual. Like there are dicks, boobs, vaginas, like all over the place, whether they be on statues or actual like human tunes in the game. And it's the basic gist of the game is you receive a cryptic letter from your girlfriend that she has been abducted by this cult. And the object is to go to this mansion, infiltrate the cult, or not infiltrate the cult, but like sneak into the mansion and free her. And then you discover like, oh shit, there's some demonic shit going on. And there's portals to this demonic dimension because the leader of this cult has been dabbling in dark arts and he wants to do all this, fucked up shit. And he's like praying to I think it's to like the god of lust or the demon of lust or something like that. And basically it's a lot of like first person exploration and there's some chasing and some very minimal fighting. Mostly it's just like
boobs and
mostly it's for visual, like sound and visual, like audio visual journey. It's nothing like mind bending or difficult. And the thing is, it doesn't feel like within the setting of the game, it doesn't feel gratuitous. Like the nudity and that kind of stuff. Like the basic or the through line of the story, or not through line, but the theme of the game is sex and demons. So if that's that, then this is a good example of it. I had a lot of fun playing it. Like it's pretty well done. Like as far as the visuals and sound go. The actual gameplay, thankfully they don't have you do anything too difficult because it is fucking jank. Like it's a little like
Okay.
it's a little like the controlling the character when you need to go fast is a little fucked up. So thankfully they didn't make it too difficult to do, but there's a lot of times when I was like, man, if I had to fucking do this and like do BioShock stuff with it, not happening. So it's more of a story that unfolds rather than a difficult game.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Understood. It's called Lust for Darkness. Let me see. It is $14.99. I played. It takes about 3-ish hours to finish it. But I'd say maybe 10. Maybe we're 10.
Ah.
Yeah, see, like that. Like it's like imagine if H.R. Geiger did porn.
That sounds like
it's kind of
just
like
absolutely wretched.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great.
That sounds absolutely horrifying.
Oh, he did porn. Oh, thank you, Simon. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next episode.
All right. Well, I didn't know.
What's the next game, Zeke? The final game. Oh, I know what this next game is.
Is that the final game?
I think so.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so much fun. It's called Mother Simulator.
Yeah. How?
It's
Are you
such
good, Mom?
a great fucking fun game.
It's like Who's Your Daddy?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Played Who's Your Daddy?
No, I never have.
Uh-oh.
You should.
This is okay. First and foremost, let me say the baby in the game. They make it very, very clear throughout the game that the baby is a robot and this is a game show. So don't worry about like dropping it or abusing it or anything like that. It's a robot. It's a robo baby. So don't worry about that. Which is very, very smart on their part. Because it's fun to like, throw the baby around and stuff like that when you start.
Sure.
But the game it's a level-based time attack game. So they start you off like first things first. You have a minute to change this baby's diaper. Okay, now that you've learned that, you have a minute to change a baby's diaper and eat food. Like we'll give you a hunger meter. Now that you've done that, and so on and so forth, until like this particular section, you have 7 things of laundry that you have to find throughout the house. You have to keep yourself fed. You have to use the bathroom like when you can, or you will there's an audience, and if that bathroom orange meter goes all the way, you see a negative 10 or negative 15, and those are all like seconds. And you hear the crowd go, oh, because you basically like doo-dooed yourself. But yeah, and you can read the baby's thoughts. The baby thinks about something it wants, and you have to do it. And it gets increasingly more and more difficult. Like some of the later levels that I did were pretty fucking hard. Like they have an ice level where all your entire floor of your house is covered in ice.
Yeah.
They add new elements to keep it fresh. Like they'll add a vacuum. They'll add the fact that you're tired and you have to make coffee and give it to yourself, or you'll fall asleep. That kind of stuff. And it's really fun to like Trials game. Nothing much more to say about it. It's Mother Simulator. Let's see. It is.
How much is it? Yeah, what are we talking about?
Oh my god. It's on sale right now for 99 cents.
This is a great 99-cent game right here.
It is a good buy, dude. It's 99 cents right now if you want to buy it. It's fucking fun.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I will say there is some like
I love this. It's the greatest
What?
It's the greatest like break screen ever with the kid like propped up like this. Looks great.
Oh yeah. I will say there is some translations mishaps, like some English in the game.
Oh, you don't say.
I don't know
Huh.
where the game is from,
Weird.
but there's some funny, definitely some funny like descriptions
Right.
that don't translate very well. Yeah, that's a fun game.
Cool. Well, that was Indie
Oh, that's
Sunday.
why I was thinking we had another game, because I played through a complete other game.
Oh
called
yeah,
the
yeah,
Spiral
yeah.
Scouts.
Yeah, how is Spiral Scouts? You talked about it a little bit last week, I think.
Yeah.
But I think you finished it. So how is it in retrospect?
Yep. It took me about 13 hours to complete it. It is a childish, puerile sense of humor, toilet humor game set in a little girl's sticker book, with actually pretty challenging puzzles. It's not an action game, meaning you don't like swing your sword and hit things. It's all puzzles and all like figuring stuff out. It's all that, and the sense of humor in the game is not just vulgarity vulgarity for vulgarity's sake. It's actually timed well and thought out. Like they sparse the humor out with times of puzzling and stuff like that, and it's not all toilet humor, but there's definitely a generous helping of it, and it's I have that kind of sense of humor. That shit makes me laugh. Like a fart will make me laugh until I die. But yeah, like one of the first things you have to do is make butt juice. And how do you make butt juice? You shake the butt nut tree to get the sweet and sour butt nuts out of it, and you add 2 sugars, and then you make sweet or sour butt juice out of it.
Everyone knows that. That's just law.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it doesn't come from your butt. It comes from the butt nut.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunately named because the nut does look like a big butt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what an unfortunate naming.
Well, you can see it in my inventory right there, like the green and purple, like this right there in my inventory at the bottom.
Yeah.
Those are butt nuts.
Great. Nailed it.
But it's fantastic. The music and sound design is fucking surprisingly well done. It's really good. It's not voice acted. When the text goes along, you hear like this yep, like as the text is filling up or whatever.
Yep.
It's not voice act, so it was fun for me to voice act like all the characters and stuff. It's challenging when in the right way. It's colorful. It's fun to listen to. It's fun to play. It's funny. It's one of those games that I played on Indie Sunday for like half an hour, and I went, I'm going to stop this game right now because I'm thinking I want to play all the way through it. And boy, am I glad I did, because the ending it's a work. It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah. I walked in on that not knowing it was the ending, and yeah, I guess it was. So
it is. But yeah, the game is called the Spiral Scouts. It is. Took it, like I said, about 13 hours, 12, 13 hours to beat it. And it is $10 on Steam, $9.99.
Not too bad.
And absolutely worth every penny.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was that. I continued my Kingdom Hearts adventures. We don't have to spend too much on it. I crossed the 100-hour mark, I think, of Kingdom Hearts. I'm feeling it. Woo. But
are you into it?
Oh yeah, no. So I played Birth by Sleep and finished it over the weekend.
Okay,
that was definitely the game. And I never played Birth by Sleep, but that's definitely the game that eclipsed Kingdom Hearts 2. I think I can actually say that now. I thought about it for the past couple of days. I think it for me is the best Kingdom Hearts game that I played thus far. So yeah, it wraps up, or not wraps up, but it adds story elements that make Kingdom Hearts 2 make sense in a lot of ways, and kind of flesh out that story. And yeah, so today we're watching a 3-hour movie of Kingdom Hearts right after this. So I'm pushing along, and I think I still have 3 more games to go of that. So I don't know when I'll finish it.
You're doing all of them.
Yeah. I'm 5 in. Today will be the second 3-hour movie I've watched, which is the second game. They just condensed all the cutscenes because they didn't want to remake it for the PS4. So yeah, we're pushing along. And then I don't know when I'm going to play the other. So I've got the 3DS game, which was remastered for the PS4 called Dream Drop Distance. I've got 0.2, which is a fragmentary passage or some shit, and then 2.8, which is like the direct lead into Kingdom Hearts 3, I think is the correct terminology for all that stuff. So, yeah, we got about probably,
I don't know,
20, 30 hours. It's a thing.
Oof.
It's a thing. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And there's also... Yeah, it's kind of crazy too to see like the rabid fan base that game has.
Oh man,
in the most positive way as well. Like they're just super. They're like out there, kind of like the World of Warcraft fans, upset that Sylvanas burned Eldersil.
Yeah,
they're just rabid.
Really into it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I don't. What did I? Oh, I guess we could talk. We've kind of talked about it before, but Enter the Gungeon played last week. That game's pretty good. It's good. It's a pretty good game,
dude. Right,
yeah.
Right.
It's a pretty good game. I've been wanting to play it offline, but I didn't want to like potentially lose the ability to stream the portions that I played offline, so I just haven't touched it since last Wednesday. But
That'll change.
Spent like 3 to 4 hours in it. Yeah. Because I only did 3 runs, and I got to like the 4th or 5th world level or whatever. And I don't know anything about like how the game's beaten or won or secret bosses and all that crap, but it seems like there's a lot going on in Enter the Gungeon, and I'm enjoying my time with it.
Awesome.
Enter the Gungeon is one of those rare games that I don't know if I've ever heard anyone not like it.
It just feels
at
good
least,
to play.
At least a little bit, because it's action packed. The sound is great. It's fucking tough.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome, man.
It just,
have you ever played it, Broman?
It just feels good to play.
I haven't. Now I want to.
It's like Binding of Isaac, but everything's a gun.
Okay,
it's a good.
Guns or bullets, yeah. Guns, bullets, shells, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you get like a bullet that fires guns.
Yeah, I had a shotgun shell that fired shotguns, and it was really strong.
Yeah, that's a good.
This is awesome. This is great.
I had
really,
what?
I'll watch some streams.
I had the letter R that said the word bullets.
Yep.
When
a
shot
lowercase
it.
R.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it just goes bullets. Bullets.
It goes bullet. And it fires out BULLET, like the letters.
Yep.
Wow, that's absurd.
It's great. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun.
I like that.
But there's literally like there's so many fucking guns in the game that you can get that all do different shit, and it's all like you played Isaac before, right?
Yes. Yeah, I played.
There's so many different like synergies and different ways you can use, or different like ways to beat the game, or strategies and stuff like that. And like if you watch the GDQs, you can see like professional runners still like the guy didn't finish. He like still have a problem with the game because of RNG.
Yep. Yeah, in my 3 runs, apparently I had like unbelievable RNG.
It was godlike. It was good.
Yeah, so everyone in chat was like, "Streamer RNG is fucking bullshit." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "I'm just shooting the guys and they're dying. I don't know what's happening."
Yeah, it hurt me a little to watch that because I was sitting there going, "Fucking," but it didn't surprise me because it's you.
Sure. Yeah. No,
like shit just goes your way.
I might have enjoyed the game more because I knew you were watching and I knew the RNG that I was getting. Let me just look real quick in the last 5 minutes that we got for news. Yakuza 0 came out today on the PC. That's out there. That's a thing that's playable now. Have you guys heard at all how it runs and how if it's stable and runs well on the PC? Zeke and Co. I know you guys are super into that fandom. Okay.
I haven't heard anything back from that yet.
We'll see if chat says a couple comments saying it runs great. It runs well on my PC.
Ooh, all caps. Yakuza 0 is amazing on PC.
There you go. Ooh. That's good to hear.
Awesome.
People are saying Fallout 70. Is there Fallout 76 news, Co? Did some come out about that?
Nope.
I saw that mentioned a couple times in chat.
October.
Okay.
Game release in November, and I think we're
cool.
pretty much just waiting.
It's been kind of a slow.
There's Fallout Miami.
Oh, that was the mod. Yeah,
the big mod that they released a trailer for, and
yep, yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like when this might be this might be shitty to say, but when the top news of the week in the top 10 is Blizzard releasing a new hero in Heroes of the Storm, it's been kind of slow. So
Oh, that game's still around?
yeah, I guess it still does well. I mean, they're still updating it constantly. Heroes of the Storm's a thing. So yeah, I don't know anyone that plays it constantly. So they got to be out there though. Actually, I hear there's not news, but something very important happened yesterday, and I got to get to the bottom of this. Apparently, we died in Zeke's RimWorld game, and I don't know how it happened. So Zeke, here at the end of the show, what the fuck occurred? What the fuck, Zeke?
I didn't find out I was dead. I was told by numerous people in a flood that I had been murdered.
Well, at least you found out that I had to find out.
Not murdered.
I had to find out in passing thanks to a Zeke tweet. That's how I found out. Was apparently after the fact. So what the fuck happened, Zeke?
It's a culmination of things. Like the first thing that you need to know is that I started the day by changing the storyteller from like Cassandra Chill or whatever the fuck her name was to Randy Random, which means like he would throw random RNG elements at you, like whether they're ridiculous, goofy, good, bad, they could be either. So one of them, like I got like 2 raids in a row where I wasn't, and some people got injured, and while they were injured, I got another raid and yada, yada, yada. So I didn't have time to like really like recoup and that kind of thing. And then I don't know if it's RNG or whatever, but you guys got the plague. You got plague. And that's not from like filthiness. Like
I was feeling a
plague
little
is
sick yesterday, so
is spread by rats or vermin and that kind of thing, as far as I know. But it could be because my hospital was dirty because I had no time to clean it because the healthy people were tending to the sick people. So whatever. Either way, you guys got the plague. I fought it as best I could, but it was too strong in the end, and I didn't have enough doctors. Like you, like JP, you were my doctor, one of them. Mm-hmm. Like I had 3 people who could do medicine, and the rest were like, fuck that shit, no way. So the plague got 4 people. It got JP, Corn Dogs, one of my viewers, and Sacriel. Sacriel.
Did you give us a nice
But yeah, they claimed 4 people, and we had to dig your graves and stuff. However, the colony survives.
It pushes on.
Colony lives on.
As it must.
Yep.
If you would have given me a little bit more smoke leaf, maybe I would have cleaned up.
If
just
you were by the way, did you know that? Did people tell you you were like my little maid? Like that was your job. It was like clean until it's all clean, and then you can do some art.
To be fair, if you kept the smoke leaf coming, I'd probably clean your apartment IRL too.
Dude,
so
every time I gave you smoke leaf, you passed the fuck out.
Well, you gave him too much.
No,
have
he
you ever
smoked
had
1
smoke
J, and
leaf?
he's like,
I mean,
that's how he dealt with
that's
you.
what
though.
you
That's how he
do
dealt
with
you.
smoke leaf.
that shit's potent, man.
Listen. You cannot make me feel any worse than I already do, or like any more like upset, because I spent days getting you over your fucking alcoholism. Days.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were like 4 or 5 days sober, and you were doing great. You weren't like getting stressed out or nothing. You were fine. You were smoking every once in a while. Like when your joy got below 50%, you'd go and smoke a J and you'd be fine. You'd be okay. And then fucking raids and plagues. Like, dude, it's like building a building only to watch it be destroyed by a fucking like a goddamn tornado. Yeah. 3 days later, it just fucking sucks. I spent so much time sobering you up. Well, and JP, you carried him to bed no less than a dozen fucking times for him passing out.
Can we talk about the game now, Zeke, instead of real life? Can we? What RimWorld? What happened in RimWorld? How'd we die there?
Oh my
Oh
god!
shit! I'm so sorry. I thought we were. I'm sorry. In the game.
Yeah.
The game is actually it's a great game. It's a very no. I didn't think I would like this game. I thought I'd play it for like an hour and then quit. But I like the franticness of it. I like that there's. I think that not even the franticness because you can pause it. It's that. It's the same thing that Warframe gives me in that there's always 10 things you can be doing to utilize your time best. And I like that because it keeps my brain like snapping along.
Yeah.
It does. I'm not sitting there going like, okay, I'm going to mine this ore for the next 5 minutes so I can get enough ore to make one piece of thing. Whereas that does happen in this game, but there's also 10 other things that take time to do as well as that one thing.
Sure.
So I think that's probably the draw for me. And also it's the interactions between NPCs, you, animals, the inner workings of the colony itself, building out your colony, feeling like you've accomplished something when you're like, oh my God, we just put a fucking and that was like my takeaway from the whole plague situation was like my construction guy could not do doctoring. Would not do doctoring because it's not one of his skills. So while everybody was sick and dying in bed, he was putting a sterile floor in the fucking hospital. Like, okay, everybody's dying, but maybe we'll prevent that from now on.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right.
But yeah.
Well, that's RimWorld, and I think that's our show. What's coming out next? Next week is kind of the final week before video games start existing again.
Yeah.
Tomorrow though.
Yeah.
Oh wait, not tomorrow. Excuse me. A game that came out that I'm really excited for.
Chasm?
This is the Police 2.
Oh. When is that? That launches tomorrow?
No, it's already out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know when it. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. It released. The 31st. So it released yesterday or day before, or whatever. But it was that little like police station management game. You had like cards with like your officers on it. You're like the chief.
I remember.
And that kind of stuff. And I had so much fucking fun playing it. And I'm looking forward to playing that tomorrow. But now I'm looking at reviews on it. Yeah. And on Steam, 321 views mixed.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I heard the chat was saying they added some like XCOM type stuff to that.
Oh, God.
So maybe that's where it's falling short.
Okay.
They had a really good thing with the first one. That's
yeah. Also, Zeke, you should try a game called Chasm. CHASM. It comes out it's on the PS4. It came out yesterday.
it's like Death's Gambit plus Splunky.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good. I would check that out on Indie Sunday. Report back. And then next week we got next Tuesday we'll be talking about Monster Hunter World and probably all wanting to play it. Bro, man, you're jumping in on the Monster Hunter World on PC, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Big time.
Zeke, are you gonna play? Because you waited, right? You're looking forward to this, I think.
When does it come out?
Next Tuesday.
If you want to do drop games, I'll give it a shot.
Okay, we might. I know there are some schedule stuff with that, so yeah, we'll talk about it.
I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to play it alone. Is the thing. Like it's best played with people, right?
I played 70 hours mostly solo and had a I can't even talk. Fantastic. Fat time. It was fat. It was fat. Okay. It was fat time.
There you go. Fatty. Yeah, dude. In 3 days, we have the full release of Monster Hunter World PC. We've got Dead Cells full version going live,
which I want to play.
And We Happy Few.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Boom, boom, boom.
Do you know if you can get Dead Cells early? Because I know that's like out on the PC if you play the beta version or something like that.
Well, here's the thing: you can play Dead Cells right now, and from what I've been told from somebody who's put tons and tons of hours into it, Peeve, the guy I was talking about earlier, the full version is going to be a rollover. So you do not have to start a new game, and the changes they're going to be making from the version you can play right now to the full version are not like huge.
Nice.
So I'm actually playing Dead Cells tomorrow afternoon.
I might start that soon. Yeah,
that rolls over.
Yeah, I've been putting that off for the longest time. I don't know if I can wait anymore because the Kingdom Hearts. There's so much that I can play. 100 hours is pushing. I need a little break, so we might be playing some Dead Cells for sure. Yeah, so Zeke, Monster Hunter comes out on the 9th, but it's able to be streamed on the 7th if you can get early access. So I'll message someone after the show and see if you can get early access.
Okay.
But yeah, we should definitely play that together because it runs really well on the PC and it's a lot of fun. And that game's like
Argo is up at 8 p.m. PDT on the 7th, so
On the
we could
7th.
do, yeah, so we could do like an afternoon thing or something for sure.
Which
Yeah.
is so weird for a game that's already been out.
yeah, it's Japan.
Well, the PC version, like JP was saying, like apparently it's a lot better. So I think they're wanting to kind of like do the whole floodgates open kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man.
I think it's also mostly Japan.
Probably.
Just being Japan being Japan when it comes to games.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do some shout outs though and get out of here because I got a movie to watch.
Before we do that,
Sure.
I just wanted to say thank you to Co for participating in Guardian Con this year.
We didn't get to talk about that
on the charity stream.
Apologies, I wanted to.
Zeke was part of that last year, and I hadn't had a chance. I try to tell thank you to everybody, but Co's block was absolutely insane. You tortured the ever living shit out of him with all the games that he had to play, and there's nothing I love more than seeing communities treat broadcasters like shit for charity. So it's great.
Yeah.
But that was so. I just want to say thank you to Co, and I'm sure lots of people who are here watched and donated. And thank you to all that. And her final tally for the year was $2.8 million.
Yeah, congrats on
now
that. That's
everything's
fucking
in.
insane.
The congratulations that belongs to everybody.
Yeah.
We ran the hospital for a day, so it's really exciting, and glad I got to give you a surprise thank you.
Yeah.
Already can't wait for next year, man. Like, yeah, it's
really fun.
It's awesome. It's awesome. The whole thing's awesome. Nothing but good.
I would assume across the board, bro, man, this year's Guardian Con exceeded expectations.
Yes.
Okay. I thought as much.
My expectation was to run the hospital for a day this year, and we delivered on that. But I have really absurd expectations. But yeah, I mean, the attendance, the media attention, and the I think the general acceptance of the idea that this event is for everyone now, that exceeded my expectations. I wasn't expecting to sort of overcome the Genesis narrative of us starting with the Destiny community for maybe one more year.
Yeah.
But with the help of like Zeke last year and Co, and having Ninja and Lupo and like the people that we would have never expected to have involved, like Nepenthes and like all these wonderful people from like the FIFA community, and so many developers coming out and supporting the event, whether it was like High Res or Digital Extremes or even now Bungie.
DE killed it, man. Like that was insane.
Yeah. So there were so many. We really want the focus of the event to be gaming's collective voice that we do good together in the world. And this was the first year that I feel like we realized that. So next year, it's going to be it's bonkers. I don't know what we're planning yet because we're still all like decompressing. But there's a lot of really cool stuff on the table already.
Nice.
And promise will be much more fun stuff to watch and broadcasters to torture
of some nature. Yeah.
of some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
Maybe you can make Co dye his beard pink next year.
All right.
One step at a time.
Let's go and put that on the board, and we'll see you in a year. I think I made the comment maybe the week of on Drop Frames that I kind of feel like the cherry on top for all of that, and I think specifically for maybe you and Goth, was that Bungie included it in like their in-game calendar or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, they'd probably think that that's fucking amazing. So
well, yeah, having it go from a incredibly rough start, as far as the relationship that we had with them concerning the event, to them feeling like our event had enough brand identity that they could go there without it feeling like an endorsement.
Right.
They could go as a participant was a huge win for us, and it'll be, I think that a lot of people on the developer side of the space were sort of waiting for that stamp of approval. That's like a legal signal that says guess what? These people aren't getting sued. Feel free to play along. Huh? That's definitely kind of what it, that participation meant a lot, and it will mean a lot going forward. So yeah, it was really kick-ass to have Bungie there and to have Digital Extremes there right next to them, and then Buffalo Wild Wings, and for an event that started in a bar 4 years ago, to have
it's crazy growth,
nationally recognized food chains and millions of dollars for charity, and all these developers there, it's truly monumental, and we're not planning on stopping anytime soon. So it's gonna be great to see what it evolves into next year.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be surprised. I think even you guys will be surprised just at how much you'll grow from this year and next.
I think so.
I think it's going to be fucking crazy. It already is fucking crazy, but I think next year will be absurd.
If we raise any more money than we did this year, I will officially start breaching into the I have no fucking clue how this is happening level of my mind space.
I think you can already be there. I think you might already be there, for sure. But yeah. Sure. Anyways, it was a fantastic job all around at Guardian Con this year. So if you haven't already been told that, there you go. I think everyone agrees with that unanimously. Let's do some shout outs though, and call it a show. Zeke, you want to start us off?
Sure. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Professor Broman for being here today, and as always, being an intelligent and insightful guest.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Also, very handsome, if I may say so. My name is Ezekiel III. I broadcast. Oh, let me thank Ko and JP too. Just there you go. Broadcast at noon Pacific. Noon Pacific usually every day. You can find me at Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all at or slash Ezekiel_III. Tomorrow at noon Pacific, I'm going to be playing This Is the Police 2, and God, the mixed reviews. God, I hope they're not a portend, like an awful portend of how the game is. But we'll see. I had tons of fun playing the first one. It was a unexpected masterpiece for me, but masterpiece, that might be a bit much. But yeah, if you want to check me out, that's what I'll be doing probably Thursday. And if it's good, I'll probably play Friday too, depending on how long it is. And if not, there's always RimWorld to go back to. So yeah, that's all I got. Thank you.
Cool. Ko, some shout outs, sir.
Absolutely. Big thank you to Professor Broman. It's been awesome working with him on Guardian Con and now on Drop Frames. Fantastic. As always, thank you to JP and Zeke. Always a pleasure. My name is Ko. Hi, you can find me streaming every day at 8 a.m. EDT on my channel, twitch.tv/Carnage. We've got tomorrow is another look at mid and high-end gameplay in Rend. We've got Dead Cells. We've got Warframe. We've got Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. We're going to be debuting a new class called the Dire Lord with the devs on Sunday at 2 p.m. Nice. And then we're going to be starting our Monster Hunter PC run at 8 a.m. EDT on Tuesday, on the 7th, a couple days early. So it's going to be big. We got lots of big stuff coming down the pipeline. And then, of course, at that point, we're in the August release, and we're going to be pinging so many things in August. It's going to be crazy. So hope to see you guys there. And as always, thank you for watching.
Yeah, Drop Frames will finally be back from its hiatus of the drought of summer. Basically, next episode we'll actually start having full 3-hour episodes probably.
And I'm gonna be missing two Wednesdays at the end of
August.
At the end of August.
Okay, all right. Well, one of those.
I'll be gone from the 21st to the 31st.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you got your tickets, I would assume. With that,
I'm gonna burn. Yeah, I got my tickets during the show. They went on sale about an hour and 15 minutes ago for the OMG sale.
Nice.
And I secured my ticket, my vehicle pass. So here I come. I'm going to burn, baby.
Well, maybe I'll call up on Better Co to come on the stream and replace you. And we'll have 2 Co's on the same stream. It'll be good.
Oh,
it'll be yikes. It'll be
all right. I could think of worse guys to replace me.
Yeah, we might be. We'll see. We'll see.
We also do Drop Frame. We need every hour we can get in August. So there may be something we can find.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Broman, last but not least, thanks so much for coming on the show, especially such late notice. Do some shout outs for us, man. Where can people check your stuff out?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Professor Broman. No, thank you guys for having me on the show. I always have a good time talking about stuff. It's always great to talk about, like No Man's Sky and like consumer behavior and stuff. Every time I come on here, I feel like I have a great discussion with y'all. So thank you. I'm Professor Broman. You can check it out. You can check me out. I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/Professor Broman. I'm actually not sponsored by G Fuel anymore.
I looked at those before we started streaming. I was like, man, I hope he's still sponsored by these guys. So then we started.
I still work with Discord. If you want to check me out, I'm Professor Broman everywhere, or Ben WCA on YouTube. I'm also the co-owner of King's Coast Coffee Company, and we just launched all of our we launched 4 single origin blends today, and so that was actually really exciting. So if you want to check that out, that's kingscoastcoffee.com to shill really hard for that. And of course, please follow GuardianCon everywhere at GuardianCon. We had an incredible year this year, and next year is going to be even more incredible. I'm actually going to a meeting for that right after this.
Nice.
So please check it out. Our sole focus is to make the voice of the good that gaming does as a community and as a culture in the world as loud as we possibly can. So if you would join with us by, following or retweeting or donating or paying attention to whatever we're doing for the rest of the year, we would all deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. Maybe I'm getting my coffee. There's a lot of coffee companies in the streaming world. Did you guys get a national deal with a group, or am I thinking of the...
You're probably not thinking of us, but we're in discussions right now.
Okay. All right.
With a couple of people to get into the retail space. That is a meeting that I'm having later in August.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that stuff. Hope it works out.
Busy month.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
One thing I forgot to mention, for anyone who wants to check it out, I'm going to be streaming Warframe right after this. If you want to see that,
do it.
There you go. Go play more Warframe. We're out. We'll be live next week talking about Monster Hunter. Most likely, it'll probably be a pretty. We've kind of talked about that game before, but I guess we'll be talking about the port, and then we'll go from there because it came out on console. So I don't know how much time we'll spend on that. We'll see.
I didn't even look. Someone chat mentioned it, but on Professor Broman's Twitter, it's Professor Broman underneath him.
Professor Broman.
Yeah, no, that's accurate. Yeah.
Professor.
Just change your entire brand, bro, man. Professor it just rolls off the tongue better.
They call me the Professor.
Yeah. And then we, Kings, it's the Professor of Espresso. And then it just Perfect. Works. That's Perfect. Where I was going with that. I want to talk to you after the stream about it, but Zeke brought it into the forefront here. That's it for Drop Frames. We'll see you guys next week for more. We're out of here. Bye-bye.